Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Transport Fever 2. How very good of you to join and still stick around to this beautiful game. Take a cup of coffee or tea, sit back, relax and enjoy as we continue with, well, something that is time sensitive, something we should be doing right now. There is a sawmill and this sawmill is closing right now. That is not good for us because I figured why not just check out the surrounding area, and I've noticed something, and that is that we got an extremely well supplied, potentially well supplied steel mill over here by Fleetwood that has copper and coal in masses around that. On top of that, we have a very nice machines factory here that we haven't activated yet, right? So it's dormant. And the cool thing about this steel machines factory is that we can really scale this one up. So it has everything around it to make it possible to get this one into a very big one. It has customers. We have South Shields, Orkney. We got over here Nantwich and Weavenhoe. Whatever that name is, we probably will need to rename that, and Hamilton down here. So there is a potential, a lot of customers with good cities that we can grow this one into. So let's activate this one before it disappears. And we only really need to do something here, and that is the country road. And we're gonna go with a, well, actually I think we're gonna go, this is the asymmetric country road that I haven't used yet. I think this might be interesting. Let's just check it out. Can we decide in which direction it goes asymmetric? I don't think we can, right? No, I can just increase the length, but I cannot really choose it. So let's just go ahead with the big one anyway and make a direct connection there to this lumber camp there, right? And that's it. By the way, it would make a lot more sense if, you know, the lumber camp would be here in the forest, but it's here. So you know what we can actually do, since I also have a bit of money, I can just go ahead and get me a nice mixed forest going here. We could do this across the map, but it really tanks your performance if you plant too many trees. So I'm just gonna keep this one, you know, a bit natural perhaps. I don't know. There is another forest, so we can make a connection here, right? Adding a bit to this, painting it. There is another forest here, so connecting a bunch of forests makes sense to some extent, right? But we definitely shouldn't overdo this because, yeah, it's really hard on the CPU there. Now, with that out of the way, I think we have the connection here now to get us a proper depot going. There it is. And let's just make this one somewhere over here, right? And then I'm gonna have another one over here on that side. And that's basically it. The moment we make the line here and activate it, we should be fine. Let's call it line 1 for now, because I'm not entirely sure what we call it. And then I'm also gonna have a road depot. Gonna have this one a bit further away because we're gonna have, of course, a bunch of lines here attached to this. And it's basically now line 1. And look at that, we also got some new trucks available here. They're a bit faster, not really, but I think, what is the big difference here? They're more expensive in maintenance. It's 1 ton of cargo more, but that's it. They're actually also... this is actually really hard. I think the Opal is still better here. It's also less on the maintenance. So I'm just gonna pick me 1 and put this one to line 1. There it is. Let's activate this one. The industry closure still takes time. Look at that, it's still there, right? So 20 minutes. And then this one here is closing down. The logs are waiting. It's still not stopping to close though. So I think we still need to deliver something, and then we potentially still need to have a customer as well. So let's also get this one going. I really don't want to lose this sawmill here. I think it's a very important one that we're gonna need, right? And then we just have that depot here. And then I'm also creating the next line that delivers then the planks. All right, and we're just gonna take another one again for line 2 that we have here for now. This still doesn't do any difference here, so I hope that it's really just the logs that we need. Alright, logs were delivered and the closure is off. And with that, we got this one here activated moments before it actually disappeared. And that's actually pretty great for us. So we already copied more trucks on this route now here. And then of course also this one goes to the machines factory. Now this is going to be a pretty massive one. We will need to prepare also potentially here a train station then. And in this area, I can think about a cargo airport down the road as well. Speaking about cargo planes, what's going on with my cargo plane, by the way, that we have? 4.5 million. And look at that, even my passenger transportation now is also doing fantastic. So I'm really happy about this, as it is working out. And while we're also close here, of course, we're completely overwhelmed with the amount that we need to transport. We have a new plane, by the way, and I would also like to really do this quickly, and it's the Lockheed Super Constellation. This one has, so we're using this one here, right? So it has 8 more capacity, which is a lot, right? And also its top speed is now at 480, which is also way higher again than before, so over 130 kilometers an hour more. Let's replace this for the 22 million. Look at that, we need a bigger airport for this, and we have unlocked the big airports now, finally, right, with this one. So that is another project for this episode. But of course, the focus lies on my machines factory, so we also need to get the steel now going. There's Fleetwood, so in this case here, we will need to be very careful of not getting this traffic into Fleetwood, because that would just totally wreck the noise levels of this. And there's also South Shield, so I would like to, while we can, make a nice highway connection between the two cities, so that they also profit from that. So we want to grow them, right? We want to grow more cities, and let's just make it so that we have a nice clean looking connection there that goes over here. There's Fleetwood already, and here we probably will just make it, this needs to go, so that we can draw it right over here. I'm still not entirely sure how that road network always takes the wrong one, the wrong shape. This one here can upgrade, and should, even though this is looking too nasty. There you go. There we got now a nice proper connection between the two cities, and in between we now have our own connection where we have then the transportation, and I might even think about having a sort of a tunnel here, right, that goes below. There it is, and then above again, and make that connection there. Because with the trucks, it's really not a big deal of doing this. Right? You don't want to have the main routes being disturbed by this all the time. Right, after having set up a couple of more stations that deliver another copper, don't forget these mines can also upgrade, so potentially we have then a delivery of 800 copper, so that should be enough for quite some time. And of course we want to activate all of this again. I mean, activating it's probably working out pretty well right away, so let's just go ahead with 11 vehicles for, I've also called this all now Fleetwood Machines, right? So this is the Fleetwood Machines production in general, and then we got the first one here with the coal. Unable to find a path. What the hell is this? Like, oh, this one's cut off for some strange reasons. This one's been cut off. I'm also now, based on some feedback you guys gave me, and of course it makes sense, I'm not connecting these depots usually anymore directly to the main station, because it actually causes a traffic jam on the highway, right? On the real highway. So you want to have them a bit further away, like here, right? This also works out, and they're just going right into it, taking their stuff and then getting out again, right? This makes the traffic a bit more fluent. We could also have a one-way out and a one-way in going, but I think since we have high capacity trucks now, this should be actually fine too. And now we can push them into the coal one that we have, and then I'm gonna go ahead with the same amount for the copper that we have, so the Fleetwood Machines copper. And then we have, I don't know, let's go ahead with 5 of them for now, with the Fleetwood Machines planks delivery and the steel delivery then, right, that we have. So that we have all of this going into that one then. With that out of the way, we can then actually start supplying the customers that we have. Like Aberdeen is the first one that comes to mind, and in this case here, we would probably be well off with a, not a truck station actually, but with a drop-off point, right? because there's not gonna be that much traffic going in and out of this. And I've actually renamed the city South Shields, that's just bad for my tongue. We're gonna go ahead with Aberdeen. That's the closest that comes to my mind when I look at the shape of the city here, close to this, we could say ocean, right? And it just came to mind here. Yeah, that's the machines. By the way, this is a goods customer here to a potential one. I like the idea of that. Where should we have it? Probably in a bit of a side street here. We could also have it down here by the docks, right? Where there's already a bit of noise, you might say. So let's have this one a bit closer down here. And this is then my first customer. So there's the planks coming in. So this will already be quite a bit of traffic now that I think about it. I'm gonna make this one a bit, having the drop-offs here and then the goods going away here, right? And this is now the Fleetwood Machines to Aberdeen. Now that I think about it, I've never had a fully or a truck system like this before, right? There was always a train at least, but since we have the customers so close and there's no real combination here, I think we're just gonna go ahead with this setup here. I think this is something I like. And it's basically just trucks. Let's take one for now. That gets the Fleetwood Machines then to Aberdeen. Right, there it is. And this works out now. Hopefully, everything is starting to ramp up. And Aberdeen gets its machines then out of this. There's the bees. Once again, the invasion starts. Upgraded roads right away. And yeah, top speed also right away. Can't wait for this. And we're gonna make a train then for sure to get the machines over here to Wivenhoe and to Nantwich, because both of them will also need it. Now that I think about it, it would also make sense to have this exchange here, the transfer, where the machine parts are coming in and the goods are going out, because we also have machine customers here. Carton, for example, will need machines. Amble needs machines. We already have passenger lines here going, so you know it makes sense too. I just love, by the way, how these mines look. It's like a amusement park. And by the way, since I've also seen some comments, yes, of course, there's lots of public or private transportation going. So once we upgraded the main road, look at that. There's cars appearing now of private citizens going from Aberdeen to Fleetwood here, from the residential to the commercial building. So they're actually commuting on these cars here now, right? And they're using that between the two cities. As long as we don't have public transportation connecting them, we just get now the private transportation here ramping up because of that. It's always worth it to revisit all the lines. I totally forgot about my good old, you know, stone line, and look at that. Those poor souls in 1952, they still have to wear a hat, especially, and they also have no cabin. This is devastating to me. Let's actually replace them. And in this case, they need to be replaced anyway, because they can't keep up with demand by a long shot. And this leads to 8 million investment. That finally gives them a cabin and removes the hat. Also, they can go way faster now, and coincidentally also carry more, which is important for this one. And by the way, that also counts for this good old road that we still have here. Upgrading this to a 4-lane, I mean, we don't have to upgrade everything to 4 lanes, right? It's not necessary everywhere, but for this section here, it makes sense because there's actually 2 lines going this way. So for me, it makes sense to have this one here upgraded to a 4-lane road all the way, right? All the way to here probably, perhaps even to here. If we get rid of this depot there, we should be able to upgrade even further. There you go. This one's going then up and this one's going down to that area here, right? So there's just a lot of traffic here going back and forth. So this makes then a lot of sense. And finally, this one has been modernized too, which is important because this construction material plant here is still working only on level 1. So it's only upgraded once in its lifetime. And oh, not even that. It's still the baseline there, by the way. We need to really, really ramp this one up, right? And that's where the stone is coming in now for our transportation. And for ultimately also then providing more materials to my cities. By the way, also something really strange is going on here, because for Haywood Airport there are 270 people waiting. It's this small train here that's get completely busted with that. There's way too many people. They even want to sit on the roof of it. And why is that the case, I wonder? Because they certainly don't want to fly with the plane, right? Or do they? can't be that they all want to go for the airline. I mean, I love airlines myself, but I'm not just doing it for fun. What's going on here? For Leeds, there are 200 people waiting and 200 people for work waiting. Haywood has then, that's within the city. But for Carleton, there's only 20 and for Amble only 10, right? So these are the cities that you connect with the plane here. So this doesn't make sense. It seems like they're going for this one and then they're taking the Leeds airport line to get to Leeds rather than taking the direct transportation. Why is that? Perhaps because the direct transportation is working on a very old, outdated model at this point, right? So perhaps they want to go with the electrification rather than with these good old cars here that smell a bit bad as well. So we might need to do something here to address the issue. First of all, electrification. That counts for basically all my tracks. And not only that, but we're also moving this one into a high-speed track system now, because why not, right? There is no downside of doing this other than a bit of money. And of course, a lot of clicks. I also love the high-speed tracks. They just look so much cleaner. With that out of the way, let's actually replace these very, very old models here. I mean, come on. Right, we're still in the 1900 with that. Let's move it to the top. We can actually go now with some electrification here. It is not exactly cheaper. It's not faster. It's not more powerful right now. So, you know, we could still go with the Class A4 for this one. And I think I'm just going to go ahead with it. The more important thing will be the upgraded passenger wagon that we have, the BC4. It's still old actually, right? It's already 17 years old. But it has a higher capacity. And that's important, a higher base speed, right? So like the Donnerbüchse, that's a cool name. And the six-wheeler, right? So it's faster as well. We still need to have a better one for sure though. 30 million it cost me to upgrade both of them. And capacity, the rate is rather low on this route, but that's of course because demand is not there. We create demand by getting us a better train going. I don't want to have too many because this will lead to higher maintenance cost, but let's go with 140, right? And replace both of them with that. Now this has been modernized. People will be in awe of what's happening there, and perhaps they would like to take this one now in the future. And quickly rectify the mistake here that I did. And yeah, that is once again something that goes with the carts. So the one that we used usually for my stone route here didn't take construction materials. This led to this one here actually not downgrading to 100. So now it goes up again. Huge mistake. Glad I found it out before I had to read it in the comments. There's actually a truck that carries both of these goods, the stone and the construction material. They take less per vehicle, like two less, but that's okay. And of course, what I'm also doing, but not always showing, is that I'm diligently upgrading more roads and more routes and also vehicles, especially the older ones that we had, to further scale up these industries that we have. Okay, onwards to the big problem, and that is, of course, now upgrading those airports. Now, unfortunately, I would love to have it, right, to have an upgrade button for this, but it's not gonna work out. So there's a vehicle on the way. Let's just check it out. I don't see any vehicle here. Perhaps there's one landing right now. There it is. This will all be very hurtful for us, right? So unfortunately, there is no way around that. And that's because there's no upgrade feature. I would love, once again, to have this one for Transport Fever 3. So once again, I say this. And there it is, cut into the lake, which is totally fine for me, because this is also something that happens in real life, that we take away a bit of the water here to create a bit of an extra runway space. That is just unavoidable. The other solution would be to move all of this one step to the left, right? But that is just so much logistical work here, especially since we will not be able to take away with us these truck stations there, right? So I would need to recreate all of these lines here. I'm not gonna do this, honestly, just for the upgrade and just for aesthetics. This is looking fine to me. And on the other side of the map, we have it a bit easier because here we have a lot of space, right? So we can get rid of this one right away. And then I'm just gonna rebuild this cargo one somewhere here. Yes. That's it, right? And the routes should adjust themselves automatically. There it is. And these are now the modern airports, and we're not gonna take them away anymore, right? So these have their final positions now. Last I know is we cannot add another runway. There is a mod for this. I might actually reinstall this mod as well. And what we can do now here with this cargo line is finally something that I wanted to do, and that is upgrading this route to the Lockheed Super Constellation now with the upgraded speed, the upgraded capacity. And this was the first version of the Super Constellation, and it was equipped with a large cargo door and heavy duty floor. 22 million to upgrade all of them. There it is, job done. And these are the ones, those beauties. And they can carry now a lot more, which is necessary because my industries were already struggling to scale up because there was not enough delivery. Look at how big these birds are, in the sky especially. That looks really epic as it's coming along. Over there. You stopped way too late for this. The pilot just thought to himself, there's no collision control in this game, so let's just go ahead and drive a bit further. Why not? Beautiful ones, and probably one of the last ones that we're using with the propeller. Right, so the next planes probably have jets then already. Already full again, I'm really surprised. By the way, it's also just great to look at these details, right? The doors are opening, cargo is coming in. It would be lovely that if there's even a crew, you know, like fueling them up and stuff. Doors closing, and it continues its journey. Yeah, and because of this upgrade, that cargo airline here is just absolutely bonkers now. So it was 2 million before, and it's almost doubling now already within the first minute. So that's going to be one heck of a profitable cargo air transportation route. Now this brings me to that food processing plant here. We are always talking about scaling up those industries. Unfortunately, there is one thing that I still don't quite understand, and that is the shipment parameter here for for this industry here. The problem is right now that, you know, everything is working now. We get the grain in, so this is now in production, right? It's producing more than it needs, and it can upgrade with the production. Transportation is also fine, so getting the final product to the customer is working non-stop. That's fine, but there's not enough customers, it seems, and that's a bit strange to me, because we do have two big cities and we cannot even supply the whole of Haywood with the production right now. So theoretically, we should have the customers big enough to upgrade this one, right? Because we don't even meet half demand here right now for Haywood with the production that we have. So we cannot even do anything here, right? It's just not enough to push it with the consumers. We need a third consumer, actually, a third city for this to scale up. And that means we need to find a new customer. We could transport, or we could use even our cargo transportation here, the air route, right? We could get the food to the airport and then to the world. That would be possible. Or we just use wells over here that we haven't used it. The cool thing is wells also need construction material that we already have over there. So Wells is a city that we can very well grow. You know, you get it? Very well grow. Anyway, let's get the drop-off point going for this. The thing is, though, once again, as always with those things, we need to first upgrade the roads. And I'm also gonna give Wells already a main road, even though, you know, the city is so tiny that we actually delete half of it by upgrading the road. But it's okay. Once again, long-term wise, the city will profit for that and be thankful, hopefully, for this monstrosity that we're doing here right now, dropping this almost down to 100 there on the population. Then Wells has this already existing route that we can just also upgrade. And once again, this is ridiculously big, right? This is just way too much. But I don't want to do this again in 20 years from now, so I rather do it now and be done with it, right? So now we got the highway road system that goes here. that goes then through my existing system that we have over here, going then over there. And it's actually going through the city right now, which of course is not ideal, so it probably would make more sense to take this route, but I'm not expecting a lot of traffic coming out of this for now, so I'm just gonna go ahead with it. And we're gonna use this drop off here again. I'm just gonna add another platform, right? So we can add different or more cargo platforms to this. Also make this one a bit larger here to the north, right? That looks like that. And with that, we can accommodate more trucks. And don't forget, you know, the number of vehicles is not going up now magically anymore, because we can squeeze in more and more capacity into these trucks and also increase their speed. So this makes it a lot easier for me to maintain these routes. And I'm just going to have then a drop-off point here for the food. And this is where it's basically going now, right? Oh, look at that. City's changing again. Buildings appear. Especially those food ones here. And that's what we want to do. And this is now the leads. I think we call it foods. Yep. And this is, oops. Leads, food to wells. Right. And we're just going to add then a bunch of these trucks. It's probably those ones here. Yes. Let's say 3. You know, this is already quite a lot, I think. Should be fine though. Alright, with that we get the new customer. And I'm expecting this one to go up. And look at that, it's now going up. Let's just see how high it goes up. And hopefully we can upgrade this industry with it. While this is happening, let's also once again check out my transportation, my train transportation between Leeds and Haywood. So what I've noticed is that the profit has gone up now, right? So Leeds, we are almost profitable now with this. So it was a good, nice first step to increase capacity and speed. However, we also have a problem that we still are not able to fully transport enough people to the stations. So we got this one. We got 100 people waiting here, going for Queen Street, right? Which is my airport, my train station, tram station. So let's check it out. We don't have a new vehicle, so I'm just gonna go ahead and copy me another tram in. By the way, this is already a new version that we just implemented now, carrying 26 people per cart. So this is also a nice capacity increase, and they just look fantastic, I think, as we're now transporting these. Way better than buses for sure. For buses, we have the 11 capacity per bus, and we still don't have an upgrade here, right? So there's no real development happening, whereas trams are just getting constantly new updates. And while we watch all of this, I'm also glad that you can participate in the big event of this Let's Play on very hard mode settings. And that is now us pushing towards billionaire status. It's close. It's getting there. We're making huge earnings right now. And there it is. 1 billion on the bank account. There is even room for more, I'd say. But of course, it doesn't mean that we're absolutely safe. I mean, of course, the game gets a bit easier now. But since everything is getting so expensive, the risk of just dropping tremendously with bad routes is also still there. But of course, let's not kid, we basically want the very hard settings here and just continue onwards with the fun. I also especially love my food distribution center here. There's a lot of stuff going on, lots of trucks coming in and out, and lots of food being produced. And just to stick with positive news right now, also this passenger boat transportation that we created here between Hastings and Haywood is also very profitable and always full. So a lot of people like those ships and like to use them. They're even using the proper outfits while doing so. Alright, and just with the cargo, I'm also gonna now upgrade my air transportation to accommodate then also the larger planes that we're gonna need here. Demand is certainly there, so there's way too many people waiting, right? So this is of course also kind of like throttling the demand that for this transportation is there if people have to wait too long at these stations. So after this one took off, we will just upgrade that one too with, yeah, also cutting into the water here. And the same applies also for the airport in Birdwood. And with that, we should be able to now, I don't think we have a bigger one though. Oh yeah, we have the same thing, the Lockheed Super Constellation, carrying now twice as much almost, right? Also with a way higher speed than before. And we can now replace this one. It's the same one, just really for passenger transportation. Let's just go ahead with 3, because I'm fully expecting here to have then that many passengers. Finally, also our transportation system between the cities Haywood and Leeds is very profitable. That's of course also because the passenger count has gone up significantly. The airline transportation here has gone down significantly, so people now prefer our passenger transportation to Leeds rather than taking a detour to the airport, right? So this is now finally working as intended. And it should also increase, yeah, very good. The station quality now in Leeds has finalized and we're at 900 people with that. Closing in on the 4 digits with our first cities. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Also, the food processing plant is about to level up at this very moment. Thanks to having now big enough customers, it seems. This is just so important because with that we can provide then also more food to the cities then here that still want to grow, of course. Yeah, that pushes now, right? And that also leads to more food being produced. Now regarding those 2 cities, Brightlingsea and Wells, Wells is already growing now and Wells could be even bigger because we now have also our construction material plant over here that is at the moment leveling up. That means there's gonna be a bunch of more stuff coming out here soon and we can use that bunch. And let's just see how we can do this. There's Hastings in between. Hastings is to me rather okay for now. It has 2 materials that we cannot really get here quickly, right? So we got the goods over there, but the goods is pretty much overwhelmed right now, so we need to wait for the goods to level up. And the machine parts we can actually get in here a bit later. So for now, let's actually focus on this one here. And we do have our main road here coming out. So I'm gonna upgrade this one here because I can. And then we're gonna make this one here actually that I'm making a bit longer, right? And we make this road here around Hastings because I don't want to have this main traffic going into Hastings. That would be very bad for the city and it would definitely lead to a negative growth. That is something I don't want. So we are carefully trying. I mean, I could also make it underground. It's not like we cannot afford it. Yeah, let's have it up here for now, right? And I'm just gonna push it then over here. We need to get rid of this road there, and then I'm pushing it here. It's not the most beautiful thing, right? It's a going around Hastings here that is not looking good for the landscaping that we have. And then this one's also a bit tricky. We're going to make this one here going here. Definitely a bridge. I can see no other way of doing this. And this bridge goes over. There's no ship traffic here, so I really don't care. And then we're gonna make it into this tiny part. Where are we? We're here. That's great. So this looks okay. Right, and then we just make it straight here to Wells, and here we will make the connection. Just perfect. Right, with that we got a nice connection. Wells will definitely also profit from this. I'm expecting private traffic now to go up now that we have a good connection there with Hastings. 2 connections indeed, and this one goes in. Right, so now we just need to have our drop-off point. It's coming in here. The materials are right here. This is great. So the trucks can actually just barely enter the city and leave again. And this also means that here, gonna create me a new depot for sure. I don't want to have this one mixed with the stone construction depot. This would be very bad. And that was of course to be expected. We're just gonna have it here. Like this dirt road is completely unused, right? And I think we can actually live with that, right? Oh, Wells also needs goods now. That's Of all the goods, really, that there could be, it's goods. It's a complicated production, and it's very, very hard to actually really scale up because there's so many moving parts in a goods production. That's just a crazy thing. And we say Hastings, construction, 2 wells. Right, so that's my general line here. And we do have our road depot. Let's just check it out. Construction is going to be all cargo. We could also make this one. Let's make this one. And just get us 3 going for now. Because while, of course, there will be quite a bit, especially since your shipment goes up now, as you can see, there's still not enough stone coming in to really get this going. So, despite having the latest trucks already... Oh, look at that. Okay, this quarry here is not working at maximum capacity yet. I'm surprised. It is waiting for the construction plant to level up, which should be happening now, as we can see, right? Yeah, it's definitely going to happen now. So this one will level up, and then the quarry will level up, and then we'll need, once again, more trucks on this. So Wells was really dormant for 100 years, right? And now it's exploding. Now it's gonna get some goods. And on top of that, we now provide a train line. And this is gonna be an interesting train line. I show you why. For now, let's just have us a main station for Brightling Sea. Brightling Sea is, you know, ridiculously useless to us right now. Still gonna make me a... Let's make a large street. No, a large city street. Large city street. Let's cut through here. And up here. I know, it's not good for the city itself. Alright, but it's necessary for the general growth that we're gonna need here. And then I'm gonna need a medium street that I'm gonna push like... Probably like this. Yeah, I think we're gonna make here a curvature or something like that, because along this one I could make a train station like so. That should work out. Alright. The thing is, there is a bit of a hill here. It's not that easy to see, but it's hilly, right? So this will be a bit tricky. And then getting out of this area here with the train, that's gonna be the real challenge here. So there is my central station. As you can see, the city is already growing right next to it, right? So it's all full of buildings here already. So I'm gonna delete this here now. These people actually build in an area where you shouldn't build, where my trains are coming in and out, right? And this is now the station here, the platform 4. Let's use platform 1 for this. Platform 1 is still available, right? Platform 2 is being used for the airport. 3 is the intercity connection. This is a pass-through platform. So platform 1 we can safely use to get out of here. And, oh, 300 tops. And we will need to go underground with this. Because it's so complicated that this is the only path that I see can make sense for this. And I just hope that we can get out of here. I think we cannot do this. It doesn't go steep enough, quickly enough. I wanted to originally combine this so that also my oil train, but this is not gonna work out. It's too close. So we have 2 options now. Either we make another crossing here and make the road a bridge, or we move the main road a bit further away, or in fact a bit closer. There you go. Actually, we make an underground tunnel here that goes then up here to the other side out again. So with this, we have plenty of space here for the city to continue to grow. There's the city street. And also what we have here is the bridge was just not possible, right? So no matter what, it's too close to the tracks from here. Also, I've cleaned this area up, of course, because that just looks better now. And of course, the moment we're on pause, I'm expecting then the city to rebuild these plots here again, where things just kind of like were destroyed, right? So there will be more buildings now popping up and even more streets for sure. Now the tracks itself, they're stopping right now here because we managed to get them underground. It's a simple track for now. It's probably gonna be also once again a two-way street, right? It's gonna be high speed, so we're kind of planning this one, right? So I'm trying it. And as you can see, we can now make a tunnel all the way with top speed below all of that messy area here, right? So this is industry zone and then the airport, and then we're coming out here somewhere, and we can definitely make it less curvature somewhere here, right? Just gotta make sure that we keep this one a bit leveled, like so that it doesn't go too steep here for any kind of drains. And yeah, then it's basically just the connection here with that line, right? And as we can see, we're entering then with 200 kilometers an hour almost into Brightling Sea. So this is working out for me as we're coming out there again. Keeping the slope as low as possible, and this one brings it on. And then we just go towards Wells. Now Wells theoretically could be a terminus station. We could also make a connection then to Hastings. So I would like to keep this option available. So we need to keep this in mind when we place our train station here. And yeah, once again, we will probably need to do something with Hastings here. So I can see that we got this street here that we could just develop over there, right? And this opens up a bit of space here that I can use for a trainer. So look at that. The city continues then with a grid layout for me. I'm actually thinking right now of deleting this one. Yeah, this looks better because this way we can actually have our station somewhere here, right, where it makes sense to me. And in that case, there you go. Right, and now we could actually enter here with a tunnel. I think this, yeah, when we look at the elevation, holy cow, this is not going to be easy towards Brightling Sea. And towards this direction, though, it's then pretty much open there, right? So it's flat for later on. And now just onwards again to my track system. Let's just see how we can make this work. As expected, we're going probably like this right away. Now that looks ideal. That's another 5 million we need to pay. And it automatically enters then here a tunnel, right? Goes then through all of this mountain, coming out here in the forest. And then we just have a longer bridge that goes then right into the city itself. This way we can keep it flat, and we have the potential here of making a truly high-speed train once we need it, of course, right? And also we have enough space for a parallel track system then as well. Very nice. With that, I think we are golden to create our next train line, and that is now Haywood, going towards Brightling Sea, Wells, and back again. And for now, this is working out fine. And since this is going to be a high capacity train, I'm not expecting really to Haywood to Wells. I'm not expecting a second train on this anytime soon, honestly. So we'll just see. Platform 1 he's choosing right now, so I have the option of both platforms, and that seems to be about right as well. The only other thing we need now is the train depot. This one here certainly won't do anymore. I could have a train depot here situated by my lumberjack, my lumber camp, so it doesn't really stick out that much. Right, and then we just make the tracks going in here. It's just for this train, honestly. I'm gonna delete this again afterwards, I think. I mean, we can also keep it like that because it doesn't really look out or anything like that. And let's just see what we have. I'm probably gonna go with class A4. We could also go, not a crocodile's too slow. This needs to be a very good speed, so let's go class A4, and then we're gonna use a bunch of these. 120, that's already good. The maintenance cost will kill it anyway for the beginning. And then we're basically putting it out here. Haywood to Wells. There you go. Next train coming out. Loving that. The only thing that we now need is, of course, in Brightling Sea and in Wells, a public transportation towards the station. And since Wells is growing so quickly, I could also be thinking about a tram here, honestly. I think this would make more sense to have a tram line going through the city. Yeah, why not? There it's also coming out now for our next line. And Brightling Sea just got a simple bus line that is connecting the station with the rest of the city. Oh, there's even 11 people on board already as the train makes its way back to Haywood. All of this leads to Haywood to grow even more. So we got 80% now on the public transportation sector and 50% on the private sector. What I can still see is we get a bit of room to play around here. We need way more fuel and way more food that we deliver to that city to also let it grow further. With Leeds, it's the same thing basically. Construction goods would be something. I want to push the first 1000 pop cities, and for that we need to just simply provide more goods overall. So far so good. Also our Haywood central station is growing with more and more lines being attached to it. This is gonna be fun watching all those trains go choo-choo all around, and we continue onwards then in the next episode of Transport Fever with the 60s and probably the first jet engines. Stay tuned.